Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right, CFL Week 2. Oh boy, Week 1 was unique, if I didn't say the most. Back in 2019 when I started doing some CFL videos, I didn't get really a chance to watch the games like I wanted. I just kind of seen some highlights and stuff like that. I actually watched a little bit of each of these 4 games. I thought the games were pretty good. We had pretty good attendance, so I'm glad fans came out for it. 600 and some odd days since the last CFL game. Crazy. I know the world's trying to get back to a new normal, whatever that is. I know as things change, for the last 18 months, they remain the same. This time last year, we're kind of going through the same kind of deal. Hopefully things do get better overall. But we know what? We have CFL, we have college football coming up, and we'll have the NFL coming up as well. So week 1, again, I didn't do well. I was 3-9 overall. Wins loss 1-3 against the spread 1-3 over under 1-3. I did kind of create my own lines based on the projected scores that I had. It looks like those I don't say idiots in Vegas, but those money grubbing guys in Vegas didn't put any of the spreads out until later, so I didn't get a chance to really use them. But I do have spreads for this week, so that's good. Some of the top performers from last week. Cody Fajardo, if I screwed that name up, I'm sorry, from Saskatchewan. He had the overall best completion ratio. He was 28 for 35 at 80%, 2 touchdowns, interception, 230 yards, a QB rating of 103.3. And then Trevor Harris of Edmonton, 33 out of 44, 75% completion ratio. Of course, he did throw three interceptions, so, he missed 11 passes, and 3 of those went to the other team. He did throw for 333 yards, QB rating of 67.7, not great. The best QB ratings were McLeod Bethel Thompson of Toronto, 26 for 37, 354, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, 118.5. And then Zach Collaros from Winnipeg, 18 for 28, 217, 2 touchdowns, 117.8. On the receiving core, most receptions, we had James Wilder of Edmonton, 9 for 72 yards. And then Brendan Banks of Hamilton, 8 catches for 77. And then Darrell Walker of Edmonton, 8 for 98. Most receiving yards from BC, the BC Lions, Lucky Whitehead, 5 catches, but 137 and 1 touchdown. Ricky Collins of Toronto, 6 for 126. And then Darrell Walker, the 8 for 98 that he had. Most offensive plays with Edmonton, 84. Most yards, Edmonton, 438. Most points, Saskatchewan and BC both at 25. The fewest plays and the fewest yards both go to Ottawa. The Red Blacks, 60 plays, 94 yards. Not good. Fewest points went to Hamilton Tiger Cats, 6. Most tackles on the defensive side. Top 2 tackles came out of Ottawa. We had Avery Williams with 14 and Sherrod Baltimore with 8. Most sacks came out of Edmonton. Kau Bodery, 2 sacks, and then Mike Moore with 2 sacks. Most interceptions, Ottawa, Abdul Karoth, 2, and then they had 7 other players tied with 1. One thing that I'm going to start doing here as I do these CFL is first part of the video is going to be about kind of the top players from last week, and then we'll get into a little bit of fantasy. I started this year doing the fantasy football for CFL on the CFL website. You can actually go to fantasy.cfl.ca. If you go down in the description, it'll be listed there. It's like daily fantasy. You basically put your team. You got a salary cap. I actually joined the Atlantic Schooners League, same way with Justin with Bridgewater's Finest. And I was 38th out of 82. Kind of in the middle there. I was happy with that, top half. I had 65.4 points, and the leader had 107. So I got some ground to make up. But for the first week out, I ended up picking a guy who was on the injury list. My bad. Again, when you're starting to learn things, kind of do mistakes like that. So I've gone ahead and put my lineup in for week 2 already. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you all here before we get into the week 2 preview. So quarterback, again, it's based on salary cap. So you have, $10,000, I think, and you got to pick all your positions. Now, you want the better players. They cost more money. I've learned that real quick. My QB is at $8,672. McLeod Bennett Thompson of Toronto. Obviously, with him having the best QB rating, threw 354 yards in week 1, I wanted him on my team. Again, 86.72, kind of expensive there. My 2 running backs, I got Brady Oliveira out of Toronto, $4,500. Wasn't all that expensive compared to some. He did have a pretty good week 1. James Wilder out of Montreal, $65.59. He was one of the more expensive ones. Again, he had what did he end up? He had 72 yards rushing in week 1, so I wanted him on my team. Get some rushing on there. And then my 2 receivers, I got Lucky Whitehead from BC. He's 61.26. He had 136 yards week 1, 1 touchdown. And then Darrell Walker, the fact that he had 8 receptions for 98 yards. He was on both of my lists there. He was a little pricey at 73.41. Went ahead and did Winnipeg's defense, 41.99. So that left me 26.03 for my flex position. So for $2,500 in my flex positions, I got Curly Gittins Jr. out of Toronto. He had 2 catches in week 1. So we'll see how well I do. I don't know if I'm going to win, but you know what? It's all about having fun. Just like when I do my picks here, it's not about, for me, I don't bet. This is all for fun. It's all for entertainment purposes only. If you take my picks and you go bet money and you win, good for you. Throw a comment, let me know. I'm happy to hear because I've had some people do that in the past. If you follow my picks and lose your money, my bad. That's on you. Entertainment purposes only. But if you like it, please use them. I mean, hey, if you can win some money on it, please feel free to. All right, Thursday night, we have the BC Lions 0-1 versus the Calgary Stampeders 0-1. BC damn near came back and beat Saskatchewan. I turned off that game at halftime thinking it was over, and then, kind of kept an eye on it. And 33-29, they almost brought it back. Last 10 games head-to-head between Calgary and BC. Calgary is 9-1. Calgary lost to Toronto by score of 23-20 in week 1. Calgary versus BC, their last 10 outings, the average score was Calgary 30, BC 19. The line on this game is Calgary by 6, so an over-under of 48.5. I'm picking the Stampeders to win. They'll even have 1-1. BC, unfortunately, will go 0-2. I got BC covering at 6 points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think if anything they get down, they'll try to do a comeback and just, come short like they were 4-point short last week. They're going to be less than 6, I'm hoping. I'm thinking over on the 48.5. I can see that there's going to be some points on this. They're probably going to be 30-19 kind of game. I could see that what their averages are. Both teams scoring in the 20s. So if they scored with their points last week, 29-20. So, definitely still over the 48.5. Next up, we have the 1-0 Toronto Argonauts versus the 1-0 Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Toronto, again, they won against Calgary 23-20. Winnipeg beat Hamilton 19-6, which to me, that was one of the big surprises was Hamilton only scoring 6 points. Head-to-head in the last 10 games, Winnipeg has 6-4 with an average score of 32-23. Now, in this game, Winnipeg is favored by 5.5. But I'm actually picking Toronto to win. I'm giving Toronto that 5.5. I got Winnipeg covering the 5.5, and I'm taking under on the 47.5. So I got Toronto upsetting Winnipeg. I'm giving the 5.5 to Toronto with Winnipeg covering it, and then under on the 47.5. Next up, we have Montreal Alouettes making their season debut. They're going up against the Edmonton Elks. I know last week in week 1 I did call them Eskimos. I know they changed the name in the offseason, and I just wrote it down and said it wrong. They're 0-1. They did lose Ottawa 16-12. Head-to-head, Edmonton is 9-1 in the last 10 versus Montreal. Average score 33-21. Edmonton is favored by 3.5. This one was hard for me because Montreal getting a week to kind of watch everyone play. They've seen Edmonton play. No one's seen Montreal play yet in 2021. I actually go ahead and I'm giving Edmonton the benefit of the doubt here. I know they played a tough game versus Ottawa. I got Edmonton winning, covering the 3.5, and taking under on the 49.5. And then last but not least, we have the Hamilton Tiger Cats 0-1, coming off that loss versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who barely got that win over BC with 1-0. Last 10 games, Saskatchewan is 6-4 versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Hamilton offense scares me, especially with Saskatchewan putting up 33 points on the board, and with Cody Fajardo throwing for 80% with 2 touchdowns. I mean, I know what that was against. My brain just stopped working here. I know that was against BC, and BC has not been the greatest team. But Hamilton struggled, and I think Saskatchewan's going to get by him. Saskatchewan's actually favored by 1.5 in this. I am taking the Rough Riders to cover, taking over on the 47.5. I got Hamilton starting 0-2. In the bye week, Ottawa Red Blacks 1-0 in their bye week. They beat Edmonton 16-12 last week. So as we go forward here for the CFL, I'm going to kind of do the previous week, kind of highlight some of the top players, talk about fantasy a little bit, and then go into the preview and stuff. I'll probably, for the most part, do that same format for the NCAA college football, which debuts their week 0, August 28th, and then we have the NFL, September 12th, I believe, that Sunday, or September 8th, I think is, what is the calendar? September 9th is that Thursday, so we got, week 2, 3, so week 5, week 2, 3, week 4 of CFL, we'll have an NCAA as well, and then week 5, we'll have all 3 of them again. Football's here. Hopefully we have some good games this week. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. We just kind of keep rolling what we're doing. It's been a blast watching these games and doing these videos in week 1, so we'll keep that all up. Again, if you look down in the description part, you'll see the link to the fantasy.cfl.ca if you want to do the fantasy there on CFL Fantasy. I am part of the Lane Schooners League. Please join that league. There's only 82 players. I'm not sure if as each week if you can just jump around different leagues. I'm not sure how that works yet, but you know what? Hey, we're going to figure it all out because you know what is the new year? One thing about you can say about this year, and I'm going to hashtag this for this year, is, I had this earlier. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I had this whole thing in my head earlier when I was at work. Expect the unexpected. Hashtag expect the unexpected is the 2021 CFL season. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports talent content. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter @RobSportsShow. Have a great night.